sad tune or more up-tempo, happy, jolly tune to you for next week's show, then you can get in touch. Email up until tomorrow afternoon, evening, and text until the end of today's programme. We'll be back with new tune from Grandmaster Flash after this.
BBC 6 Music.
On 6 Music.
So yes, Grandmaster Flash is releasing his first high-profile studio album since his final recordings for Elektra back in 1987. The new album is called The Bridge and is released March the 3rd, and from it, here is a tune featuring Snoop Dogg and a number of other people, and the tune is Swagger. Give us your opinion.
He likes my swagger.
Swagger, Grandmaster Flash featuring Red Cafe, Snoop Dogg and Lynn Carter. Red Cafe is not much of a hip-hop name, is it? It's like, and now on the mic, Pret a Manger. Well, yes, anyway, and the tune is called The Swagger, as I say, and the album is The Bridge, released March the 3rd. Grandmaster Flash, now 51 years old, very much a turntablist pioneer and king of the scratching, but can he still cut it? Dan, you are, of course, closer to Flash's age than you are to, say, Eugene McGuinness.
Yeah, I am nowadays. Yeah.
So, you're an old man. You're obviously also a big hip-hop fan.
I am, yeah, and it's nice to hear that he's still alive, for one, because that offers someone like me hope as I advance towards late middle age. But I thought that for someone who was a massive pioneer, that sounded nice, I liked it, but it's kind of, you know, in the mix of all the hip-hop records that there are out nowadays, it's no longer pioneering, is it? So I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the fact that he's still around. That offers me comfort in the way that Coronation Street's still on, and the
yeah, sure.
You know, the shipping forecast, that kind of thing.
You're comparing Grandmaster Flash to Coronation Street.
Yeah, yeah. So he's got that comfort blanket feel, but yeah, I'm not sure that I'm loving that track.
The Message, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, of course, one of the foremost crossover hip-hop tunes that very much got the ball rolling. So in that respect, we owe him a great deal. But The Message, of course, very well known for having a message. Could you attempt to analyse the message in that one?
Somebody's walking. Somebody's appreciating the gait of said walking.
Okay, good. Now, does that talk to you about your life?
No. I haven't a nice walk. My knee's turning, my bum's a bit big, and I've never judged a boy solely on his walk. So there you go, that's my summation of this song. I didn't get it. I didn't really enjoy it. Pioneer though he may be, this isn't his best.
Harry, you've always been a hip-hopper.
Yeah, it was kind of mildly enjoyable fluff, but seminal hip-hop producer Rev coming up, according to Wikipedia, so it might be a gigantic lie, but apparently Grandmaster Flash doesn't appear on The Message, or White Lines Don't Do It, or any of the other Furious 5 songs.
What? No wonder they were furious.
If you can't hear scratching, then Flash isn't on it. He was very much a scratcher. Scratching was his forte.
So how has he got credit on those records?
I'm not entirely sure, but he's done very well out of it.
He certainly has.
Yeah. So I'm concerned now what his input is into that record.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe he's not, because there was no scratching. Was there much scratching?
He seems to be a gigantic fraud.
He is, isn't he? Yeah. At long last, we can expose. You're no Grandmaster. Yeah, what exactly are you the Grandmaster of, Flash? Lies. You know, I'm sort of quietly charmed by Lady Sovereign. Do you remember her tune 9 to 5? It got under my skin and I enjoyed it. I liked her vibe. She has a new tune out. Her previous album didn't sort of shift the kind of units that I think a lot of people were hoping it would. She's back with this. And again, as ever, it's going to divide the 6 Music listeners because it uses quite a substantial chunk from Close to Me by The Cure.
What?
So see what you make of Lady Sovereign and So Human. Lady Sovereign, So Human, released on the 23rd of March. It's the Steve Show 6 Music, and we are listening to a selection of, I suppose, what you might term pop-hop. Popular hip-hop tunes, all new releases. And there we are, Lady Sovereign. As I say, I've always been quietly charmed by Sovereigns. But, well, there we are. I mean, hip-hop, Sammy, has a long tradition of using classic samples. Is there anything wrong with her using Close to Me?
Absolutely not. I am a fan of the sample. If you don't like the song and you're annoyed about its use, that's fair enough, but 9 times out of 10, it's a nice use of the sample, and you can go back and discover that song or rediscover it, and then you've got two brilliant songs out of one, which is always a wonderful thing. I loved that. It was girly, it was bouncy, it had me bopping and smiling, and I really love Lady Sovereign as well. I don't know if I should or not, but that's good.
I think this would be very well received in your milkshake shop.
Oh yeah, oh, it would be lovely rather than the same two script songs going round and round and round.
Tiny Dan, you, I imagine, love hip-hop when it is deeply cred. That tune, of course, probably not going to have the requisite cred levels for you.
No, but I liked Sov as well. You recall our time as flatmates, and we would stop bickering when a bit of Sov came on the music television.
Because you're quite drawn to what one might term the chav.
Yeah, I do.
You've got a soft spot for the chav.
Yeah. What was her name? Not Javine, but there was another one, wasn't there? French kissing or something. I did like that. I didn't mind the sample. I would have liked it after her early hype, and she didn't quite live up to it. I'd have liked it if she'd have come back slightly more humbled. Okay. I'd like her to be a bit more contrite, actually, slightly apologetic about that. And that's a bit defiant. But then again, I guess that's the chav way, and that's probably what draws me to her. But yeah, so I liked it.
You're giving it what?
I'm going to give it a B- because I don't want her to get too big-headed.
Yeah, well, if it stops, tracksuit-clad teenage Asbo collectors from beating up grannies and buying into The Cure and, perhaps changing their mode of dress, getting into the eyeliner and the world of existential angst, then that's a good thing. It'd be very much like the time the Utah Saints came along and we all started dressing up like Kate Bush.
That's true.
You remember. So I think it's a positive thing.
Good, thank you very much indeed. Goldie Looking Chain. A long time since we've heard from those novelty acts. And so yeah, I quite liked Goldie Looking Chain. I mean, a lot of people could easily accuse them of being, as I say, a novelty act, but anyway, I thought they were fun, and one of their members, was he the winner of Celebrity Big Brother?
No.
Was he not? Maggot?
He didn't.
He sort of seemed like a funny guy. By Any Means Necessary, new single taken from their new album, which is called Asbo for Life, appropriately. Here they are, and this one is By Any Means Necessary. Goldie Looking Chain, By Any Means Necessary, from their new album Asbo for Life. And Dan, your opinion thereof?
Well, it's got an anthemic Goldie Looking Chain back type of feel, but I wonder if they've done that at the expense of the funny, and that as a result it's slightly less charming. They've cranked up the beats, but their ramshackle charm, I'm not getting it from that one.
16th of March is its release date. Sammy, will you be queuing?
No, I'll be doing something else.
Okay.
It's just, without the comedy element, there aren't really anything. And it's a nice beat, and something more could have been done with it, but you're right, they've lost their charm.
I actually thought that some of the good stuff about the previous album was that although there was a sort of note of novelty act about it, some of the lyrics were really spot on, and I thought they actually had quite a nice little portrait of Chav England that they painted. I'm not sure I was feeling that with that one.
No, I mean, if I was the Daily Mail, I'd be screaming, what are Goldie Looking Chain for? Because I don't understand anymore, exactly, because, they could go either way. They could become even more stupid, or they could make credible records, and that was like halfway between the two.
Thank you very much indeed for your opinion. You can still contribute, of course, to the show. We are pre-recording tomorrow. Special guest Harry Shearer. That will be on next week, next Sunday. Business as usual for you, the listener. But it means as well that you can either have a tune played for you if you're lovelorn and love lostness, and or if you're happy in love. Harry, you can explain more.
Yeah, essentially, I'm going to play one or two tracks. Can't make my mind up. And if there's more people who are blissfully happy, then I'll play the happy track. If there's a lot of miserable, sad losers out there, I'll play the sad track. So just let us know how you feel, and if you've got a particularly tragic or happy story, let us know.
Text us on 64046 or email stephen.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk.
By our own rules.
Yeah, and we'll dedicate the song to you in a Simon Bates style.
Great, thank you very much indeed. Listen, Stuart McConey's next. We're going to squeeze in some of the new one from Mercury Rev. Snowflake in a Hot World seems strangely appropriate this time of year. And as I say, back next week. Thank you indeed for listening. Goodbye. Passenger, Iggy Pop, of course, from the Lust for Life album from 1977. The La Las featuring whom on backing vocals there, Harry?
Oh, I've no idea. Bowie?
Yeah, of course.
thank God.
The anger there. That's echoing the anger, no doubt, that the listeners had at the moment. The instant that you didn't have that.
We have been sat here for about 45 minutes, and you didn't give me any inkling that you're going to throw to me.
Well, that's the nature of pop trivia, I'm afraid. It can come at you at any time. Thank you very much indeed for listening. Steve Show, Six Music with me, Stephen Merchant here. You've just heard Harry, works in a bank.
Yeah, hi.
Works for the Man, of course.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people furious with Iggy Pop for selling out to the Man. That's what a lot of people are saying. He's now doing some. I've not actually seen it. Is it some kind of online insurance?
I think it's car insurance. He says, get a life.
Is that what he says?
Get this car insurance. Oh, it's awful. It's really terrible.
With Tony Dan's with us, if there's one thing that Tony Dan's got a reputation for, it's being furious and angry with not only the Man, but anyone who sells out to the Man.
Yes.
And you must be furious at Pop.
Well, he's right up there with that, that hairy guy out of Nickelback, who let the sofa people use his guitar music.
And of course,
this is on a par with it.
Dare I even mention John Lydon's name? I know. What's
Butter?
Is it Butter he's doing? Now, you see, I've got absolutely no opinion on this. It doesn't bother me in the slightest if someone decides they can make a pretty penny from advertising, but I imagine some people furious.
I would have thought so. The thing with Lydon, he's been a bit of a joke ever since he did that I'm a Celebrity thing, but...
He's been a joke since about 1984, hasn't he?
Well, probably, but Pop, he's got a bit more credibility, especially with the Stooges reunion, and, and like, poor Ron Ashton just passed away, and now Pop's doing this.
But what exactly... So what's the angle? Why is Pop... Why would I buy insurance from Pop? I don't understand.
I've no idea.
Is it just because he's lived so long despite what he's put inside him?
I think so, and he's not got a top on as well. So he's got his nips out as he always has, and he just looks bizarre.
I'll tell you what, you know who's missing from this conversation? Who's probably got staunch opinions? Probably questions like, who's Iggy Pop? I'm so young, I don't understand. It's only the lovely Sammy from the north.
Hello.
Now, if she sounds a little bit weird, it's because she's from Newcastle. But if you get beyond the accent, you'll think, oh, hang on, something's not quite right here. It's because she's not with us. She's currently in Newcastle. I should just flag up that we're pre-recording this programme. I'm currently jet-setting it in India. And so we've had to pre-record this programme, and so Sammy's up in the north, and a little bit of a surprise, because you'll know how transfixed we are by stories of her and her father.
Legendary.
Now, it's always been a rule of mine, I don't want to meet the Man, alright, because he is a living legend, in my head at least. Also, faintly terrified of him.
Yeah, very scary.
You don't want to meet your heroes.
It's good to be scared.
You'll either be let down or punched in the face.
You know that guy who changed his name to Charles Bronson?
Yes.
And is in Broadmoor or something and has killed like 14 people. Fascinating. Sounds extraordinary. Don't want to meet him. But I'd love to have a conversation if I've got distance between us. So we've managed, because she's up in the north and safely ensconced away in a little Newcastle studio, we can talk to him. We can at least get that going, that kind of level
with
of
no fear of reprisals.
No fear. And then if we find that in 3 weeks' time, our kneecaps haven't been broken or whatever, that then perhaps in future occasions we could, we could perhaps travel to Newcastle, open a supermarket or something, and he could attend. And I don't even want to refer to him by his real name. I just want to know him as Sammy's father. Or Pops. Are you there?
I'm here, Stephen, yes.
How are you? You must have staunch opinions about Iggy Pop selling out to the Man, because you're an old rocker yourself, aren't you?
Very old rocker, yes. Seen Iggy Pop many years ago. Shocked to see him in an advert. Absolutely shocked.
Listen to
the guy, he must be skinned.
That would...
Must be the credit crunch.
Are you going to be burning your Stooges records?
I never bought many records, to be truthful, Steve. I used to borrow them all. Used to borrow them.
Sure.
My dad looks a bit like Iggy Pop.
This is what I feared. I don't want to know exactly what he looks like. We'll try and unearth that as the conversations go. But listen, hang fire if you would, because I'm afraid to say that despite the fact you are a living legend, we've got even bigger names to chat to before we probe you fully. And for those of you listening who aren't yet familiar with who our big star guest is today, let me play a tune and maybe this will enlighten you. The legendary Big Bottom from the even more legendary Spinal Tap, and very pleased to say that